Welcome to Ponderings podcast. I'm your host, Milo. This is a podcast where I'll be thinking out loud about process philosophers embodied in active cognitive science, phenomenology, and at times quantum theory. Basically anything concerning the philosophy of mind, its implications, and applications to our human experience. I'm not an expert. I'm a student of philosophy, and I'd like to learn more about process philosophies through the act of teaching and expressing it out loud. I'll be learning along with you as I express my current thoughts on these subjects. So that being said, what is process philosophy? Process philosophy asserts the premise that being is dynamic in nature, dynamic in that it is in a constant state of change or becoming. Alfred North Whitehead, in his book Process and Reality, states that it belongs in the nature of a being, that it is a potential for every becoming. Our nature is composed of previous occasions of experience, and these occasions of experience constitute our present self, as well as the self we become in each moment. We are perpetually perishing, while at the same time creatively concressing toward a subjective unity with each moment that arises and passes. Process philosophy is in opposition with substance metaphysics. Substance refers to a static thing in itself, that there is an essence that separates a thing from other things. Metaphysics is a speculative philosophy that is concerned with creating a coherent and logical system of general ideas in terms of which every element of our experience can be interpreted. Coherence refers to the fact that the terms must presuppose each other. They cannot be abstracted from the entirety of the scheme. In other words, the parts constitute the whole and cannot be taken apart from the whole. The system of the universe, or metaphysical cosmological scheme, is a closed system in process philosophy. There is no transcendent essence that can be abstracted from the universe. The parts cannot exist in actuality outside of the system. A speculative philosophy is logical when it lacks contradictions. It must be consistent throughout the entirety of the scheme. We are used to the idea of having an individual soul or essence that is apart from the assumed exterior world. This duality of mind and body has its origins in Descartes' philosophy. He proposes that there is a duality between mind and body, or mind and nature. This would be referred to as the Cartesian bifurcation of nature, or the division of mind and body into distinct and separate substances. Process philosophy does not believe there is a separate distinction between mind and body, but rather that mind is necessarily embodied, is situated in the environment, and that it exists as a process rather than as substance. We are being in the world in the Heideggerian sense, that we exist as active participants with the goal of creating a subjective unity and as a result affect and create the world we are situated in. We enact the world we are in as we participate in it. Being in the world represents an active interaction rather than a substance that is static and abstracted from the whole. Process philosophers are not concerned with what there is in the world, but rather they are concerned with the questions, what is occurring and how is it occurring? They examine the self by what it does and how it occurs. The self in process philosophy is constituted by previous occasions or events and is still in the process of becoming a self. We are self-organizing and self-regulating organisms that cannot be separated from our situated environment, nor can we be separated by our history or the occasions which precede us. That being said, that does not mean we do not have a self or identity. This self is not a static, permanent, or transcendent substance. The self is a conventional self that is constituted by previous occasions of experience. We are a conglomerate of previous occasions of experience which shape who we are and enact who we are becoming, as well as affect the world we are a part of. We are not empty as in the Buddhist conception of anatta or no self. We do have a self. It is just not static as it is usually conceived. And reality is not vacuous, but rather is in a perpetual state of expansion, as modern physics proposes of the status of our universe. We are expanding. And towards what are we expanding then? The philosopher Alfred North Whitehead proposes we are expanding towards greater intensity and novelty in our experience in the world. Process philosophy, neuroscience, embodied cognitive science, and quantum theories all have hopeful and positive implications on issues such as human freedom, autonomy, interconnectedness, empathy, and concern for the health and well-being of others and of the environment. In these next episodes, I will be going over several process philosophers, as well as introducing some concepts in cognitive science and quantum physics. Again, I am only a student learning these subjects in my own time. I hope to help you understand some concepts and ideas in the various mind sciences as I learn and study them. I hope to see you next time.